Welcome back to Metals, Money, and Markets. We're at June 22nd. For MiningClips.com, I'm Rob Goodman, and as always, Mickey Fulp, the Mercenary Geologist, will run this down. Okay, markets a little spooked here. Trade tariff talk. Neutral dollar here. Let's run through it. Gold continues to look weak.
Gold was weak this week. Closed at a new 7-month low, as did platinum. Gold closed at $12.69 for almost a percent loss. It was down to $12.62 before rallying a bit yesterday. Silver is back in that $16.50 range, which it has been since early February. It actually closed the week at $16.42 for a 14-cent loss. Platinum was down incrementally, down $9 to $8.77. Once again, that's the 7-month low. And palladium took a pretty big hit, $32, closed at $9.53, down 3% on the week.
And pulling up the rear, copper down over 3%.
Yeah, what's happened to copper is slid back into that 310 plus or minus range, which it was at for about the past 60 days before the ex-Escondida strike spike, and that strike now looks like it's not going to happen. So it's lost everything that it gained back. It closed at 308, minus 3%. It is backward 8 months out, basically on all these trade worries.
And head over to the energy markets here. We're a tremendous week with oil.
Well, it was a tremendous day on oil, actually, is what happened. It popped on OPEC market news. WTI up over $4 yesterday, closed at 69.28 for a 7% gain, and essentially 5% of that happened in one day. OPEC announced they would increase production about 1 million barrels a day, but that only takes them back where they were before all this Venezuelan, Iran, and Libya problems for various reasons, which is basically removed 1 million barrels a day. U.S. production was flat at 10.9 million barrels. It's the first time it's been flat in Q2. Rigs were down 7 in the U.S. That was mainly gas. Gas rigs down 6 on the week. The drilled and uncompleteds in the Permian, the quote DUCs, down 2 times from what they were in January of 2017, and that's basically because of the pipeline bottleneck. The port bottleneck looks like it may ease somewhat, with Corpus Christi approving $217 million in port upgrades. That's good news for the U.S. oil patch, particularly West Texas. Finally, uranium is bouncing off this $23 resistance. It's been as high as $23.50, but it closed the week at $22.63 for a 3% loss.
And shifting over to the currency markets here, where U.S. dollar slid back a little bit here.
Yeah, I lost 1/4 point over the week, 94.54. Really, it's failing at this resistance at 95. It's tested it a couple of times, comes right back down. Part of it may have to do also with the 10-year Treasury bond, which is unable to break $3 resistance. Meanwhile, the euro was basically flat on no news, and the loonie continues its downward plunge. It's lost 4 cents over the last 8 of 10 weeks, and this basically has to do with trade tensions between the Canadians and the Americans, and I'm telling the Canadians, you ain't going to win this one.
Shifting gears over to these U.S. equities markets here, where they were all in the red. And an interesting note here, the GE removed from the Dow for Walgreens. What do you make of that?
Well, yeah, well, I don't think that's any surprise. You know, for over 2 decades now, General Electric, GE, one of the titans of the Industrial Revolution, has been a legacy company, i.e. it's a pension fund and an insurance company burdened by pensions, by labor unions and insurance. And so it's really no great surprise to me that happened. The Dow lost 2% over the week to close at 24,581. It actually broke an 8-day losing streak yesterday, was incrementally up. S&P 500 lost about 1%, but when you really look at it, it's not trading that far off its all-time high. It closed at 2754, and meanwhile the Nasdaq and the Russell 2000, which we really don't track, but they remain at record highs. The Nasdaq though did lose 0.7% over the week to close at 7693. A little bit more volatility in the market this week, with the VIX hovering around that 14 mark.
And finishing up the venture here, what just squeaked out a small gain here.
Yeah, it's still near its 52-week low. It's closed at 756, and it actually touched the 52-week intraday during the week. It gained 2 points. I think really the thing to take away from the venture exchange this week, or even say the junior mid tiers, the larger juniors, a couple of major acquisitions. South 32, the Perth-based spin out from BHP a few years ago, made a $1.3 billion all-cash offer for Arizona Mining with their zinc lead silver deposit in southeast Arizona. And then just yesterday, or day before yesterday, Orion Mining Finance, a U.S.-based, New York-based private equity fund, made a $537 million offer for Dalradian for their gold deposit in Northern Ireland. So M&A picked up over the week, and that certainly is encouraging.
Okay, Mickey, thanks for the breakdown. Catch you next week. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, thanks a lot, Rob.